In this example, we will going to learn how you can insert data in a table. So we have a users table with 3 fields: user ID, username, and password. In order to insert data in any SQL table, the command that we use is insert, followed by the keyword into, followed by the name of the table in which you're inserting the data. After this, you use another keyword, values. Now this can be used on the same line, or for readability purpose, you can push it to the next line, followed by an opening and closing parentheses, semicolon. I always put an opening and closing parentheses right away. It's a good habit. Otherwise, sometimes people forget the closing one and they run into a syntax error. Now, I need to provide the values in the same order as my fields are. So I have user ID followed by username followed by password, and all my fields are character fields. So all the character data will going to be enclosed in single quotes. All the date data is enclosed in single quotes as well, but only in Microsoft Access you put it in hashtags or pound symbol. And if it's a number data, then you do not put it in quotes. So since all the fields that I have are character, I will going to put it in quotes. So I have ID 1001, name is Sam, and then I have a password. I will going to now run this, and this will going to insert the data for me. It says you are about to append a row. Now let me insert another data on the same criteria, on the same syntax, but I'm going to just simply change the values. That way you will have more than one data item. And that adds another row. So I have 2 rows. Now to check to see that the data exists in the users table, I will simply double click on it, and here I have the users table. This is one way to insert data if the data in hand is exactly in the same format as the data in the table. However, in some cases, the data in hand is not exactly in the same format as the data in the table. So for example, if my data is in a format such that I have my username followed by the password followed by the user ID, so I will go to first set up my format by saying the data that I have is such that I have user ID followed by password followed by username, or however it is. So I'm going to do one this way, and I'm going to change the format. I'm going to teach you another one a different way. So I'll say, okay, so I have 1003 followed by MK1029, that's a password, followed by the name of the user, Martha. So now the 1003 will go in user ID, and MK1029 will go in password, and Martha will go in username, because that's how the format is. Behind the scene, it will place those values in those respective fields. Since the order of the data is not the same as the order of the fields in the table, I have to use this syntax. So now when I run it, it'll do exactly the same thing as it was doing before. Now let me change my order around a little bit. So I'm going to move my username here, and I'm going to push my user ID out here. So that's a totally different one than the last one. So I have my username in the first spot. So let's say this is Kyle. This is the password of Kyle. And the ID of Kyle is 1025. So now let me run this. So Kyle is the username, password is KL1029, and the user ID is 1025. Run it, it adds another row. Just double check. I'll double click to make sure that all the data exists in the users table. So in this one tutorial, we learn a couple of ways of inserting data in a table, and that's exactly the same way you would do in all other major leading databases. In the next tutorial, I will actually teach you how you can mass insert from one table to another. But for now, that's all for this tutorial. Catch you in the next one. Have a good one.